I'm now going to give you an overview of a wireless HDMI sender that we sell on the tvtrade.ie website. You can see the box here. It comes in a single kit, and we tested this, it worked extremely well. I'm just going to give you an overview of what's in the kit and how it works, and then a few features you might want to know about it. So basically we have a sender and a receiver unit here. We have two power units that come with it. We have a USB cable here that can be used for programming and firmware updates, things like this. And we also have an IR sensor here that's actually used on the transmitter end for connecting back into the box. There's actually an IR sensor built into the receiver end, so if you use your remote control in the second room, you'll be able to use that. So you can use it in two formats. You can use it just straightforwardly to wirelessly send signal to a second location, and if you use it in conjunction with the IR sensor, it should then be possible also to change channels from the second location. So normally we'll say if we had a situation where we had a skybox, what you would do is you simply put your skybox next to your television, you'd run the cable to it, and that solves your problem. Now, this may not work in the following situation where you have a television and it's a long way away from the box. So, or if you want to put this box, we'll say, in your attic or something like that due to wiring problems. So you come along and you have a situation, well, what's your alternative? You could actually hardwire a cable running from this box. So you can actually come along, we'll say, and get something like this 20-meter HDMI cable as well, and run it from this box at the second location. But this obviously might involve drilling, running cables, things like this, and there's obviously a cost involved in this. So for aesthetic reasons, for practical reasons, this definitely has a market. We have, would say, on the tvtrade.ie website, a lot of wireless senders that we're already sending, but none of them are HD. So this is the first HD version. So we have in front of us here, if we come along, we have channel 4 HD, and it's simply connected with a HDMI lead, similar to this one, to the television directly above us here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm simply going to show you how we'll use this to send the signal wirelessly to this particular television. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm simply going to disconnect the box from the television here. Okay. And I'll just show you here. So we'll pick up the first unit here, and this is the transmitter unit. Okay. So it's written quite clearly on the side of a transmitter, and it comes with a little stand, so it's quite stable. Okay. So what we'll do is I come along, I plug in this power unit here, I take the back of the power unit, or the other end of the power unit, and I push it in here. Okay. Now I'm going to take a HDMI lead that doesn't come with this kit, but is available on the site, and I'll simply connect it into here, and take the signal here from the back of the box. If you can see here, there's only a single HDMI output here, and push it in here. Okay. So now we have the box connected to this transmitter unit here. So the next thing here is simply to repeat the process with the receiver unit. So what we do at this point in time is we come along here, and we've connected the power unit in, and what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take this HDMI lead that's coming from the television, and I'm going to connect it in directly here. So the idea will be when I plug in this receiver unit here, what will happen is that the signal will come from this skybox to this transmitter unit and be wirelessly broadcast from this transmitter unit to this receiver unit, and from here through the HDMI lead back to this television. Okay. Just wait a second here now. We just check that both are turned on here, and what we'll do here is just wait. I had this television set up on the HDMI input here, so it'll just take a minute for it to click through, and then hopefully we'll be back looking at channel 4 here in a moment. So here we have it. Okay. So what we have here then is we have a situation then where we have the picture working here. Okay. Now you might find a scenario here where the sound possibly won't work correctly at this point in time. So what we need to do is we need to simply come along and go to the Sky TV button. I'm demonstrating this in a Sky box because it probably is the most common HD box that people are using here. So we'll simply come over to the settings menu, and we come down here into and over to sound. Okay. So initially when we tried this earlier today, we couldn't get the sound to work on it. And what we did is we simply came down to digital audio output HDMI. We switched it from normal to Dolby D, and then switched it back to normal, okay? And that was enough to simply flick it into working, okay? So just be aware of that if you're using this in conjunction with the Sky HD box. Just turn the volume up here, so you can see anyway it's working. So I'll just exit. I'll just simply exit out from that position there. So just hit the TP guide button a few times and just get us all the way back out. And then we will, sorry, the backup button. So there we have it. So you can see anyway, the quality of the picture is absolutely fantastic on it. And so you're keeping all your full or HD quality all the way through. Now the next step you can go through here is you can make a decision that you're actually going to use an IR sender here. So normally we'll say if people are used to connecting Sky Eyes and that, it'll be on the receiver end, you'd collect the Sky Eye and run it directly into the Sky box. But both because this is HDMI and also because there's no actual RF output on this, we'll say, what we're going to be doing here is we're actually going to be using this sensor to connect it directly from the transmitter to the box, to the Sky box here. And on the receiver end, there's actually an IR sensor built into this unit, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm simply going to turn around this box here. And I just push it in here, and it'll actually say next to the port, it'll say IR, okay? So now we need to, if we look at this IR sensor here, there's a little piece of stickiness here. What we can do here is we need to attach this directly over where the eye sensor is on the front of the Sky box, okay? Now, you might wonder to yourself, well, I wonder where exactly on the box is it? If you sort of position it here randomly, you will not find this successful, okay? So I find a great way of doing this is to come along here and ignoring, we'll say, the thing altogether, just see can you change the channels with the whole sensor blocked in the front of it, and you can't. And what you do then is you slowly slide this across. And you can find here that at this point here, it's able to take signal, okay? And you can repeat the process going to the far side. And you can see here, this will give you a great idea where exactly in this the IR sensor is built in, okay? So what you can do then is you can actually just quickly just mark it with maybe a piece of sticky paper and find out in what range is the IR sensor, and then you simply position it here and mark it down. And once again, blocking off this sensor here, what you can do is when you're aiming at the transmitter unit here, or the receiver unit here from your second location, you can just move it along till you get to a point where you can actually change channels. Okay, so you can see there it's actually working here now through the IR sensor because I have it blocked off with this box. So the whole unit worked quite well. Now what I'll say here is the big drawback of this unit is it's expensive. But the reality is that often we'll say drilling holes and running cables can work out expensive and no way neat. This unit actually works. Picture quality on it is absolutely fantastic. And like we've looked at an enormous amount of units to do this. And this unit here was actually extremely competitive compared to all the other ones, and it's on that we made the decision to stock it on tvtray.ie. So hopefully anyway you'll find this video useful, an overview of the wireless HDMI sender.